I was pretty busy in 2010. I was 23, I was a manager at a copy and print center in Spokane, I was a full-time student, and I was looking at buying my first house. I had just gotten back together with my boyfriend Brian after taking a little breather, and all things in my life seemed to be falling into place. One night in February, after closing up the print center, I ended up having to pull an all-nighter for a chemistry test I had the next day. That was stupid. The next day, I was exhausted, didn't eat anything, and ran off to school to take the test. During the test, I felt super sick to my stomach, and I started feeling really, really cold, really, really hot, but I turned it in, and I just immediately went home. When I got home, Brian had ended up taking the day off work, and I was going to take a nap. It was really hard at first. I was tossing and turning, but I eventually fell asleep. I had super vivid dreams. I remember that. But when I woke up, Brian was on the side of the bed looking at me super panicked. I had no idea why. He's never looked like that. I tried to get up, but I couldn't use my arms or my legs, and I just fell out of bed. And I looked up at him from the ground and said, "Why can't I use my arms and legs?" And that's when I started to taste the blood. He just looked at me, and he just stared at me for a few moments, and he finally said, "I think you just had a seizure." My life got pretty complicated after that. There were a lot of doctors, a lot of tests. I got my license taken away. I couldn't drive anymore. I ended up having to drop out of school for the first time in a long time. I was really dependent on other people. I couldn't even take a shower by myself, but Brian was really amazing. He always came up with some excuse to have to be in the bathroom at that time. After that first bad seizure, we found out I lost nearly 5 years of memory. From the time I was 19 until only a few weeks before the seizure was just completely gone. To this day, I don't remember the jobs, the apartments, the trips, the fights, or any of the people I met in that time. But for me, the scariest thing isn't the idea that I can't trust my body. Sure, that really sucks, but the scariest part is not being able to trust your own mind. Sometimes I wonder if the memories I do have are somehow corrupted by the seizures. That June, Brian and I moved away from our hometown. I think it was the best thing we ever did. Having to tell people you don't remember them, or having to look at my cousin's kids that love me and pretend that I know them was killing me. It was getting harder and harder to face the hometown that I didn't know anymore. Brian has been amazing. I forgot 5 years of our relationship, and he helps me work through it every day. A lot of times he even lets me laugh about it.
It's been a weird journey, and I've learned a lot about life and about myself. Sometimes you can't rely on your memories, and that's okay. You just have to keep being a good person, and then you can always trust that no matter what happened in that blank space in the timeline, you did some good, you helped some people, and you were loved.